I need you to be honest with yourself for a second. How many times have you sat in silence, staring at your life, feeling that gnawing ache in your chest, knowing deep down that you are capable of more, but refusing to act? How many nights have you lain awake, heart racing, mind spinning, haunted by the what ifs of your life, replaying every opportunity you didn't take, every risk you didn't embrace, every moment you chose comfort over courage? That's not coincidence. That's not luck. That is the consequence of hesitation. That is the price of fear. And right now, in this very moment, you have a choice to make. Will you let that fear keep you small? Will you let comfort cage your potential? Or will you rise, step into the fire, and claim the life that has been waiting for you all along? Think about it. Your entire life up to this point has been shaped by moments you acted and moments you didn't. Every choice, every hesitation, every leap of faith or step back has carved the path you are standing on today. And if you are honest, you feel the pull of unfulfilled potential, the sting of missed chances, the weight of dreams left untouched. But here is the truth. That doesn't have to define you. Not today. Not this moment. Not ever. You have the power to rewrite your story, to reclaim your time, to confront your fear, and to step into the unknown with courage burning in your chest. The question is, will you let your future self look back at you with disappointment, whispering, you could have done more. You should have tried harder. You should have risked everything. Listen carefully. Fear will always try to stop you. Doubt will always whisper in your ear. Comfort will always plead for you to stay where it's safe, where it's familiar, where it won't challenge you. But safety is a lie, and familiarity is a cage. The only way forward is through action, through risk, through embracing the discomfort that comes with stepping into your greatness. The life you want, the life you dream of, is not going to come knocking at your door. It doesn't care about your excuses, your hesitation, or your fear. It is waiting for you to fight for it, to sweat for it, to bleed for it, to risk it all for it. Right now, your mind is searching for a reason to stop. It's telling you that it's too hard, too risky, too late, too impossible. Forget that voice. That voice does not define you. Your potential defines you. Your courage defines you. Your willingness to act when everyone else hesitates defines you. And if you listen closely, you will hear it. The sound of your own heartbeat calling you to rise, to move, to risk, to take control of the life you are meant to live. That voice is louder than fear. That voice is stronger than doubt. That voice is the power inside you that will not be denied. So stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not just a speech. It is a call to arms for your life. It is a blueprint to confront fear, smash hesitation, and take the risk that will leave you with no regret. It is a fire that will ignite inside you and refuse to go out until you move, until you act, until you claim the life you were born to live. Every second you wait is a second closer to a life unlived. But every second you listen, every word you take in is a spark that can grow into a blaze that will carry you from fear to freedom, from hesitation to action, from potential to unstoppable greatness. Your time is now. Your moment is here, and your life is waiting for you to step into it. Comfort is a silent killer. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't send you warning signs. Comfort sneaks into your life disguised as security, as stability, as enough. It tells you to settle, to stay where you are, to choose the path that is easiest, safest, most predictable. It whispers in your ear that risk is dangerous, that failure is to be avoided at all costs, that you should play small because big things come with big pain. And if you listen to it, if you let it dictate your decisions, it will steal your life one small, comfortable choice at a time. Greatness cannot exist in the soil of comfort. Comfort is the very soil that breeds mediocrity. It keeps you trapped in the life you've outgrown. It lulls you into believing that what you have now is enough, when the truth is that enough is the enemy of extraordinary. Every person who has ever done something remarkable, every individual who has ever broken through the ordinary into the realm of greatness, has done so by refusing to remain comfortable. They made a decision to embrace discomfort, to step into the unknown, to risk what they had for what they could become. They understood that comfort is a cage, and the door to that cage swings only one way, out. Think about it. How often do we allow the comfort of routine to shape our lives? We wake up every morning, follow the same path, take the same actions, and accept the same outcomes, and we call it safety. But safety is an illusion. It is the quiet acceptance of limitation. Comfort convinces you that staying where you are is smart, but it's actually cowardice dressed in sophistication. It convinces you that avoiding the risk of rejection, of failure, of embarrassment will keep you safe. But the real danger is in never stretching, never challenging yourself, never taking that leap that scares you so badly you lie awake at night thinking about it. Every great opportunity, every monumental success, every life-changing moment lives on the other side of discomfort. To reach it, you must first embrace the unease, the trembling uncertainty, the sweaty palms, and the racing heart. You must choose discomfort over ease, because greatness does not call the comfortable. It calls the willing. It calls the bold. It calls the person who is willing to risk it all for a chance at everything. When you stay comfortable, you accept the life that others give you. You accept the dreams of society, the expectations of family, the boundaries of circumstance, and you convince yourself that they are your own. You trade your potential for peace. You choose familiarity over possibility. You choose the quiet hum of the routine over the deafening roar of ambition. But comfort is a liar. It makes you feel like you are safe, but in reality, you are dying slowly, day by day, year by year. You are fading into the life that you settled for, the version of yourself that could have been but never dared to fight for. Every second you cling to comfort is a second you are choosing mediocrity. Every day you stay in the same patterns, you reinforce limits that were never real. You shrink when you could expand. You hide when you could shine. You accept when you could achieve. The enemy of greatness is not the world, not your circumstances, not the people around you. It is the soft whisper of comfort that convinces you that the life you have now is good enough. To escape comfort, you must feel the pain of being stuck. You must look yourself in the mirror and admit the truth that the life you are living is smaller than the life you are capable of. You must recognize the bitter, undeniable fact that staying where you are is not safe, it is surrender. You must accept that nothing extraordinary is ever born in the womb of ease. The artist never created a masterpiece by painting what was already simple. The athlete never became a champion by avoiding the weights, by skipping practice, by never testing their limits. The entrepreneur never built an empire by playing small and hoping for luck. Every great success, every extraordinary life is built on a foundation of discomfort, struggle, and relentless pursuit in the face of fear. You must embrace discomfort as your teacher, not your enemy. You must welcome the burn of challenge as proof that you are alive, proof that you are growing, proof that you are moving closer to the life that only exists on the edge of fear. Comfort is easy to find. It is seductive. It invites you to stop, to rest, to coast. But comfort is not just a place. It is a mindset. It is a belief system that keeps you trapped, that convinces you that the risk of failure outweighs the reward of greatness. It makes you hesitant, indecisive, fearful of stepping outside the lines of what you know. It convinces you to wait for the perfect moment, to wait until you are ready, until the circumstances align, until the fear disappears. But the truth is, the perfect moment never comes. The circumstances rarely align. The fear never goes away. The only way to live a life without regret, the only way to seize greatness, is to move forward despite the discomfort, to act despite the fear, to take the risk that seems impossible because it is the only path that leads to extraordinary. Comfort will always lie, but action, bold and deliberate action, tells the truth. Greatness is not about luck. It is not about waiting for someone to hand you your chance. It is about choosing to act when your body says no, when your mind screams, when your heart trembles. It is about walking into rooms where you feel out of place, tackling challenges that terrify you, and refusing to settle for what is easy. Comfort is temporary. It offers you a false sense of security. But the pain of regret is permanent. When you look back at your life years from now, you will not remember the nights you stayed comfortable. You will not remember the days you chose rest over challenge. You will not remember the times you avoided risk. You will remember the opportunities you let slip, the chances you refused, the bold moves you didn't make because you were too comfortable. Greatness is a reward for those who dare to leave the familiar behind, who dare to feel the discomfort, who dare to risk everything for the chance to become more than they ever imagined. So today, you must make a choice. You can remain comfortable and watch your potential fade into the ordinary. You can stay safe and live with the quiet, gnawing regret of a life half lived, or you can step out, take the risk, embrace the fear, and chase greatness with everything you have. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. It will ispiralize, tempt you with ease, and try to convince you that safety is enough. But you are not here to be safe. You are here to be remarkable. You are here to push, to strive, to leap, and to rise. You are here to risk now or live with regret forever. The choice is yours, but know this: greatness never waits for the comfortable. It waits for the bold. It waits for the relentless. It waits for those who understand that comfort is not a gift, it is a trap. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is a messenger. Fear is not a reason to stop. It is a reason to pay attention. It is a signal that you are standing on the edge of growth, that you are stepping into territory where greatness lives, that you are about to do something that matters. Fear is uncomfortable, terrifying even, but it is not a stop sign. Too many people treat fear like a red light that tells them to pause, to retreat, to stay small, to settle for the life they already have. And when they do, they don't just stop, they die inside. They die in pieces, slowly every day that they let fear control their decisions. Fear exists for every person who has ever tried to rise above mediocrity, for every dreamer who dared to imagine something bigger, for every person who looked at the impossible and said, I will make it possible. Fear is proof that you are on the right path. The moment you feel fear, the moment your hands sweat and your heart races and your mind screams at you to turn back, that is the exact moment that you are being pushed to do something extraordinary. Fear is not a stop sign. It is a compass pointing you toward the place where your courage is being forged. Fear feels real. It feels heavy. It feels like a wall you cannot climb, a river you cannot cross, a storm you cannot survive. But it is only real in the sense that your mind gives it power. Fear exists to test you, to see if you have what it takes to become more than you were yesterday. It exists to separate those who are willing to step into the unknown from those who are not. It exists to confront you with the choice: stay where you are and be safe, or move forward and risk everything to become something greater. And here is the truth: the people who achieve greatness do not live without fear. They live with fear. They wake up with fear. They go to bed with fear. Fear is always present because the things worth pursuing, the challenges worth facing, the victories worth fighting for are always uncomfortable, always uncertain, always terrifying. But what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to move forward despite it, to act when every fiber of your being is screaming to stop, to use fear as fuel instead of allowing it to paralyze you. Every time you let fear stop you, you are giving away power. You are allowing something intangible, something unreal, something that exists only in your mind to dictate your destiny. Fear tells you that you are not ready, that you are not capable, that the world is too big and you are too small. But the truth is, fear is lying. You are ready because you are alive. You are capable because you exist. The world is big, yes, but it is meant to be conquered by those willing to confront the fear that comes with trying. The moment fear appears is the moment opportunity knocks. And too often, people turn away, let the door close, and walk back to safety. That safety is an illusion. Regret waits there. Comfort waits there. The mediocre life waits there. But fear points to the edge, to the place where your courage, your strength, your determination is tested, and where your breakthrough is hiding. If you are afraid, it means you are alive. If you are afraid, it means you are about to grow. If you are afraid, it means you are on the right path. Think about every person who has ever achieved something remarkable. Do you think they woke up one day without fear? Do you think the innovators, the leaders, the champions, the artists, the people who changed the world never experienced that trembling in their hands, that knot in their stomach, that racing heartbeat? No, they felt it. They felt it over and over. And every time they acted anyway. They learned to treat fear like a signal, not a stop sign. They learned to recognize the message. This is important. This matters. This is your chance to be more than you were yesterday. Fear tells you the truth about where your potential lies. Fear tells you that you are about to leave the ordinary behind. Fear tells you that this is the moment that will define you if you choose to step forward. The problem is that most people confuse fear with danger. Most people see fear as a warning, a wall, an impossible barrier. And because they see it that way, they stop. They hesitate, they procrastinate, they rationalize. They wait for the fear to disappear, for the conditions to be perfect, for someone else to give them permission to act. And while they wait, life passes them by. Fear is not danger. It is a signpost pointing to where growth is waiting. The danger is not in moving forward. The danger is in standing still. The danger is in letting fear control you. Because if you give it that power, you will spend your life wondering what if, haunted by the possibilities you never dared to chase. Fear does not block your path. Fear shows your path. It is the signal that you are about to enter the arena, that you are about to rise to the challenge, that you are about to prove to yourself and the world that you are more than you thought you were. You must learn to dance with fear. You must learn to walk through it, step into it, lean into it, and make it your ally. Every time you feel the shaking in your hands, every time your mind screams at you to retreat, every time your heart pounds in terror, you must see it as a guide, not a jailer. Fear is telling you that you are about to do something worth doing, something that matters, something that will push you into a new level of strength. Fear is your signal to act, not your excuse to stop. The people who change their lives, the people who create legacies, the people who make history, they are terrified all the time. They feel the fear and they move anyway. They use the fear as fuel. They use it as energy. They use it as the spark to ignite action that others are too afraid to take. When fear comes, do not run, do not freeze, do not rationalize. Instead, recognize it, respect it, and then act anyway. Move toward it, not away from it. Step into the unknown because that is where life exists. Step into the challenges because that is where growth exists. Step into the moments that scare you because that is where greatness exists. Fear is temporary. Regret is forever. The anxiety, the doubt, the worry, they will fall once you act. But the haunting what if will live with you for a lifetime if you let fear control you. Fear is not a stop sign. It is a signal. It is the universe telling you that you are about to do something meaningful, something significant, something extraordinary. Do not ignore it. Do not run from it. Do not let it pass without response. Step into it, rise above it, and let fear become the fuel that propels you to the life you were meant to live. So today, the choice is yours. Every time you feel the trembling, every time your mind tells you to quit, every time your heart screams that it's too much, remember, this is the moment that defines you. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your signpost. Fear is your signal. Fear is telling you that greatness waits on the other side. You can let it stop you, or you can let it guide you. You can let it chain you, or you can let it empower you. You can shrink, or you can rise. Fear is not a stop sign. It is the signal that you are alive, that you are human, and that you are about to do something extraordinary. Do not ignore it. Do not avoid it. Step into it and let it push you forward to the life you were born to claim. Opportunities are not patient. They do not pause for you to feel ready. They do not knock twice at your door. They do not linger. They do not wait for the stars to align. They appear sometimes quietly, sometimes in a storm, sometimes disguised as a problem. And if you hesitate even for a moment, they vanish. And when they are gone, they do not return. Life does not hold a meeting to remind you, here, try again. It moves forward, indifferent to your fear, indifferent to your doubt, indifferent to your hesitation. Every second you wait, every moment you procrastinate, every excuse you make is a second someone else is taking what could have been yours. The world rewards the bold, the decisive, the relentless. It rewards the person who acts, not the person who dreams. Opportunities are the lifeblood of greatness, and if you fail to seize them, you fail yourself. They are fleeting, they are fragile, they are rare, and they wait for no one. Too often people tell themselves, I'll wait until the right moment. There is no right moment. There is no perfect time. There is no ideal set of conditions. Waiting is a trap, a lie that your mind tells you to keep you small, to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable. The person who waits for perfect timing is the same person who will never reach their potential. The person who hesitates while fear whispers in their ear will always watch others succeed while they remain stagnant. Opportunities are like lightning. They strike fast, unpredictably, and they vanish just as quickly. The only way to catch them is to be ready, to be present, to act immediately. If you wait for permission, if you wait for certainty, if you wait for a sign, you will never take what life is offering. You must move, and you must move now, because every moment of hesitation is a lost chance. Every pause is a doorway closing. Every delay is a victory stolen from your hands. The world is filled with people who let opportunities pass by because they were too scared to act, too proud to ask, too uncertain to try. They look around and see others winning, see others rising, see others claiming what they wanted, and they ask themselves, why not me? The answer simple, because you did not act, because you did not seize the moment, because you allowed fear, comfort, doubt, or hesitation to convince you that waiting was safer. It was not safer, it was deadly. Opportunities are gifts wrapped in risk, wrapped in discomfort, wrapped in urgency. They require you to step forward when everyone else steps back, to raise your hand when everyone else stays silent, to leap when everyone else is cautiously standing still. The person who understands this knows that action is not optional. It is mandatory. You do not get another chance. You do not get a redo. The window is open now, and if you hesitate, it will slam shut. Opportunities often appear in forms we do not recognize at first. They can be disguised as challenges, as setbacks, as doors that seem closed, or problems that seem insurmountable. They can come as hard work, as a call to risk everything, as a test of your courage. And most people will pass on them because they look at the difficulty and see only danger, discomfort, or uncertainty. But if you can see through the disguise, if you can recognize that every challenge is an opportunity in disguise, you will rise above the ordinary. Every obstacle is a doorway to a better life if you have the eyes to see it and the courage to act. Opportunities do not wait for perfection. They reward decisiveness, speed, and boldness. They are given to the person willing to move when others freeze, willing to take the shot when others hesitate, willing to embrace risk when others run. Think about every person who has changed their life or the world. Do you think they waited for everything to be perfect? Do you think they hesitated until they had no fear? Do you think they were guaranteed success before taking the leap? No. They moved, they acted, they risked, they failed, they learned, and they tried again. And they kept moving. That is the key, the act of movement. The moment you stop to debate, to question, to wait for certainty, you are losing ground, you are losing time, you are losing the opportunity that may never return. The person who acts, even imperfectly, has a chance to succeed. The person who hesitates guarantees they will not. Life does not reward thinking. It rewards doing. It rewards risk, courage, action. Opportunities are like rare trains. They arrive once, and if you miss them, you are left standing on the platform, watching them disappear into the distance. and the regret will never leave you. You must cultivate a mindset of urgency. You must understand that life is short and that every moment you waste in hesitation is a moment stolen from your dreams. Waiting for permission is a waste. Waiting for clarity is a waste. Waiting for luck is a waste. The world moves, the clock ticks, and opportunities appear only to those ready to grab them. To seize them, you must be alert, proactive, bold, relentless. You must recognize the signs and act before fear or doubt has a chance to slow you down. Hesitation is a luxury reserved for the timid, for the unambitious, for those who are content with ordinary. You were not born for ordinary. You were born to act, to risk, to chase, to claim the opportunities that others too scared to move will never see. Time is your enemy if you wait. The clock will not stop while you debate, while you procrastinate, while you convince yourself that tomorrow is safer. Tomorrow is not promised. Opportunities are fleeting. They demand action now. You must act with speed and with purpose. You must have the courage to say yes when the world says no, to move when the masses freeze, to step forward when fear screams at you to retreat. The people who seize opportunities understand that life is not a waiting game. It is a taking game. It is a game of bold decisions, of courageous steps, of relentless pursuit. Opportunities reward the action taker and punish the hesitator. So today, understand this. If you see a chance, grab it. If a door opens, walk through it. If a call comes, answer it. If a challenge appears, tackle it. Do not think, do not hesitate, do not doubt. The moment is here. The time is now. Opportunities do not wait, and neither should you. Your dreams, your life, your potential are waiting on the other side of action. Step forward boldly, move decisively, risk fully, and claim what is yours. Every moment of delay is a doorway closing. Every hesitation a regret forming. Opportunities do not wait. They never have, and they never will. Act now or live forever wishing you had. Action is the antidote to fear. Action is the weapon against doubt. Action is the only thing that transforms dreams into reality. So many people sit and wait, paralyzed by uncertainty, trapped in analysis, afraid of the unknown, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. They think risk is something to be avoided, something to calculate endlessly, something to hide from until the conditions are just right. But here is the truth. Risk does not go away when you wait. Risk does not disappear when you hesitate. Risk is a constant companion in life, but action is what measures it, what diminishes it, what turns the unknown from a threat into an opportunity. The longer you wait, the bigger the risk becomes. Not because the world is more dangerous, but because your inaction compounds regret. The person who acts, even imperfectly, reduces the unknown to a manageable reality. They learn, they adjust, they adapt, and they grow stronger with every step they take. The person who hesitates, however, lets fear dictate their future, lets doubt freeze their potential, and becomes a prisoner of possibility, never knowing what they could have achieved. Every action you take is a shield against regret. Every step forward, no matter how small, diminishes the power of what if. The person who moves has control, even when outcomes are uncertain. The person who does nothing has none. Action transforms ideas into experience, plans into progress, and dreams into results. It is the bridge between who you are and who you are capable of becoming. Without action, talent is wasted, potential is unrealized, and life is lived in the margins, in the shadows of what could have been. Action is not a guarantee of success, but it is the only way to reduce the risk of living a life full of regret, full of unfulfilled potential, full of questions that will haunt you forever. When you act, you turn fear into learning, uncertainty into knowledge, and risk into growth. To wait is to gamble on chance. To act is to take control. Think about the people who have achieved greatness. Do you think they were fearless? Do you think they had all the answers before they started? Do you think they knew the outcome before stepping into the unknown? No, they acted. They took steps that scarred them. They tried things that could have failed. They put themselves on the line repeatedly, and each action reduced the risk that comes from ignorance. Each time they acted, they gained information, experience, and momentum. They move closer to their goals, even if the path was messy, even if mistakes were made, even if failure seemed inevitable. Action does not eliminate challenges, but it gives you the tools to overcome them. It transforms uncertainty into power because once you move, you begin to understand, adapt, and control the situation. Inaction, by contrast, gives nothing but fear and speculation. The paradox of life is that risk is everywhere, but the risk of doing nothing is far greater than the risk of trying. The people who succeed understand this. They understand that sitting idle, waiting for conditions to be perfect, waiting for fear to disappear, waiting for validation is the fastest way to fail. Every day that you do not act is a day that someone else is moving, someone else is learning, someone else is claiming what you were meant to take. The person who acts reduces uncertainty by experience. They see, they feel, they adjust, they correct. They learn what works and what doesn't. They gain confidence because they are not waiting, they are doing. The more you act, the more control you have over your life. The more you act, the smaller the unknown becomes. The more you act, the closer you get to mastery, achievement, and success. Action is not always comfortable. It is not always easy. It is not always safe. It requires courage. It requires commitment. It requires determination. But that is the point. Everything worth having, everything that changes our life requires effort, courage, and movement. The person who acts knows that uncertainty will never disappear, fear will never vanish, and conditions will never be perfect. They move anyway. They take the first step, the second step, the 100th step, and each step is a reduction of the risk that paralyzes the unprepared. The person who hesitates is trapped in the illusion of safety, thinking that standing still protects them. But in reality, standing still leaves them exposed to the far greater danger of regret, missed opportunity, and a life unlived. Action is the only thing that turns risk from a threat into a tool. Consider the life you want. Think about your dreams, your goals, your vision for the future. Every delay, every hesitation, every moment spent waiting for clarity is a moment where that life drifts farther away. Action is the bridge between desire and reality. It is the hammer that shapes the clay of your potential into something tangible, something real, something unstoppable. Each move you make, each risk you take, each choice you act on teaches you something that reduces the unknown, reduces the chance of failure, and increases the probability of success. Action is not reckless. Action is deliberate. Action is learning. Action is building. Action is power. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for inspiration. Do not wait for confidence to magically appear. Action itself generates those things. The person who moves forward, even in fear, even in uncertainty, even when they feel unprepared, creates momentum. That momentum builds courage. That momentum builds clarity. That momentum builds results. The longer you wait, the more fear grows, the more doubt strengthens, and the more opportunities slip through your fingers. Action is the ultimate antidote to that cycle. It is the thing that puts you in control, that gives you evidence, that proves to yourself and the world that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Action is also cumulative. One step leads to the next. One choice leads to another. One risk leads to more understanding, more strength, more opportunity. The person who acts consistently, even imperfectly, compounds success in a way that waiting can never achieve. Each action creates clarity. Each step forward creates confidence. And each move reduces the fear that once seemed so paralyzing. Inaction, on the other hand, compounds uncertainty. It grows, it festers, it multiplies until it becomes a wall too high to climb. Action demolishes that wall piece by piece. So today, you must decide. You can sit and wait for perfection, for clarity, for courage, for the perfect conditions that never exist. Or you can act. You can step into the unknown, take the first step, make the move that scares you, face the challenge, embrace the risk. Action reduces fear, reduces doubt, reduces uncertainty. Action is the ultimate risk reducer. Waiting is the ultimate danger. Hesitation is the enemy of progress. The moment to act is now. Do not wait. Move, step, leap, try, fail, adjust, learn, repeat. The more you act, the more control you gain. The closer you get to your dreams, the smaller the unknown becomes and the bigger your life grows. Action is the ultimate risk reducer, and your life will reward you only if you are willing to act. Regret is a weight that no success can lift. Regret is a shadow that follows you for the rest of your life. Regret is the voice that whispers at 3 a.m, reminding you of all the chances you let slip, all the risks you never took, all the dreams you abandoned because fear, doubt, or comfort told you it wasn't the right time. Failure is painful, yes. Failure stings. Failure shakes you to your core and leaves bruises on your confidence. But failure is temporary. Failure is a lesson, a teacher, a stepping stone towards something greater. Failure is proof that you tried. Regret, on the other hand, never fades. Regret is the permanent scar left on your soul when you look back and realize you could have done more, been more, risked more, lived more, but you chose the safe path, the easy path, the path that kept you comfortable but hollow inside. Failure passes. Regret lingers. Failure is a bump in the road. Regret is a roadblock in the mind. That is why those who want greatness, those who want to truly live, understand the difference and choose action over hesitation, risk over safety, courage over comfort. Every time you avoid a challenge, every time you ignore an opportunity, every time you let fear stop you, you are building regret. Regret is cumulative. It doesn't disappear if you pretend it isn't there. It doesn't fade when you get distracted by temporary pleasures. It grows quietly, invisibly inside your mind. One missed opportunity leads to another. One ignored risk leads to another. One day you look back and realize that your life has been a collection of almost, of what ifs, of maybe I should have. That is the danger of avoiding failure. You tell yourself that avoiding risk protects you from loss, but all it really does is ensure that your life is filled with permanent, haunting questions. Failure, by contrast, is temporary. Failure comes, it teaches, it leaves. You stumble, you fall, you get back up, and you try again. Failure is a sign of progress, not a sentence of despair. Regret is a sentence of despair, and it lasts far longer than the pain of any temporary failure ever will. Think about the people who are truly successful, the people who changed the world, the people who achieved what others thought impossible. They did not avoid failure. They embraced it. They welcomed it. They fell hundreds of times, lost countless battles, heard no repeatedly, faced rejection after rejection, and still moved forward. Every time they failed, they learned. Every time they stumbled, they grew stronger. Every time they lost, they gained knowledge, experience, and resilience. Failure is a temporary state, a teacher, a testing ground. It is not the end of the story. It is a chapter in the journey. Regret is what happens when you never start the journey at all. Regret is what happens when fear, comfort, and hesitation win. Regret is the silent killer of potential. Failure is temporary, but regret is permanent. Regret also limits your vision. When you live in fear of failure and avoid risk, you close doors that could have opened worlds for you. You shrink your life to the size of your comfort zone. You settle for mediocrity because it feels safe, and you tell yourself that you are avoiding pain. But what you are really avoiding is growth. You are avoiding the life you were meant to live. Every decision you do not make, every leap you do not take, every challenge you refuse is a brick in the wall of your own regret. E.T. You may fool the world into thinking you are content, but inside, the whisper of what if will haunt you. Regret is cruel because it grows over time. It magnifies. It transforms small missed chances into mountains of disappointment. The fear of failure might sting for a moment, but regret stings forever. There's also a freedom in understanding the temporary nature of failure. When you recognize that failure is not final, that it is not permanent, you stop letting it control your life. You start taking risks, making moves, and putting yourself in positions where growth is inevitable. Every failed attempt becomes a lesson, a map showing you where to adjust, a test proving that you are willing to fight for something bigger. The more you fail, the more you learn, the closer you get to success. Failure does not define you unless you let it. Regret defines you when you allow inaction, when you refuse to act, When you let fear paralyze you, one action, one attempt, one move forward reduces the power of regret, even if it ends in failure. One decision to try builds courage, builds momentum, and builds a life you can look back on with pride rather than sorrow. Regret also robs you of joy. People who let fear dictate their choices never feel the exhilaration of taking control of their lives. They never know the satisfaction of stepping into the unknown and conquering it. They never taste the sweetness of victory earned through courage and persistence. Instead, they live with a gnawing emptiness, a persistent question mark over every major decision in their life. The mind constantly rewinds, constantly replays, constantly asks, what if I had tried? What if I had risked it all? What if I had not let fear win? That pain is heavier than any temporary failure could ever be. Failure can be endured. Regret cannot. Regret is a thief. It steals your confidence, your peace, your potential, your life. That is why the courageous choose to act, knowing that failure is temporary and learning is permanent. You also have to understand that failure builds character, resilience, and insight in ways that success cannot. When you fail, you are forced to confront your weaknesses, your limitations, your fears. You are forced to innovate, to adapt, to evolve. You are forced to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. Every failure is a step forward because it teaches you how to be stronger, smarter, and more capable. But regret never teaches. Regret only haunts. Regret is built on what you did not do, while failure is built on what you tried. One leads to growth. The other leads to stagnation. One creates strength, the other creates sorrow. One opens doors, the other locks them. To live a life without regret, you must embrace the inevitability of failure. You must step forward even when it terrifies you. You must act even when you are uncertain. You must risk even when you are unsure of the outcome. Because the alternative, regret, is far worse. The people who change their lives, the people who live extraordinary lives, understand this distinction. They take action. They fail, they rise, they fail again, and they keep going. They understand that temporary failure is the price of progress, but regret is the price of inaction. They choose courage, they choose risk, they choose movement. They know that the moment they hesitate, the moment they let fear rule, is the moment they plant a seed for a lifetime of regret. They understand that the only way to truly fail is to never try at all, to never step into the arena, to never risk anything for the chance at everything. So today, you must make a decision. You must choose action over hesitation, risk over comfort, courage over fear. Failure will come. It will challenge you. It will hurt you. It will teach you, but it will pass. Regret will stay. It will haunt you. It will weigh you down. It will consume the possibilities of your life. The path to greatness is littered with failures, but it is void of regret for those willing to try. The moment to act is now. Step into the unknown. Take the risk. Fail if necessary. Learn, grow, adjust, try again. Every step forward reduces the risk of regret. Every action you take, no matter the outcome, builds a life that you can be proud of. Failure is temporary. Regret is permanent. Choose wisely. Act boldly. Live fully. Your comfort zone is not a place of safety. It's a cage. It is a trap disguised as peace, disguised as security, disguised as normalcy. Every day it whispers in your ear, telling you to stay where you are, telling you that it's enough, telling you that stepping out is too risky. It tells you that the life you are living is good enough, that your dreams can wait, that the pain of change is not worth the reward of growth. And if you listen to it, if you follow its quiet, seductive voice, it will hold you hostage for years, for decades, for your entire life. You will look back one day and realize that your greatest enemy was not circumstance, not society, not other people. Your greatest enemy was the comfort you allowed yourself to accept. Your comfort zone is a trap because it tricks you into believing that safety equals progress, that ease equals happiness, and that staying small equals security. None of it is true. Comfort is the silent killer of ambition. Think about it. What is your comfort zone? It is the routine you follow, the people you stay around, the choices you avoid, the risks you refuse. It is waking up every day, following the same path, doing the same things, telling yourself that eventually something will change, but never taking the step to make it happen. It is living life in a predictable pattern, never testing your limits, never challenging your mind, never pushing your body, never daring to dream beyond the boundaries of what you already know. And the danger is subtle. Comfort does not scream. Comfort does not threaten. Comfort does not bind you in chains. It quietly convinces you that what you have is enough, that you are fine, that tomorrow is another day. And one day you wake up 10 years older and realize you are exactly where you were. Maybe a little older, maybe a little fatter, maybe a little slower, but certainly no closer to the life you could have lived if you had dared to step out. Every person who has achieved greatness has done so by stepping outside of their comfort zone. They have understood that comfort is not a friend, it is a trap. They have understood that to grow, to learn, to achieve, to dominate, to live a life worth remembering, they must be willing to feel the discomfort, to embrace the fear, to walk into the unknown. Growth only exists beyond the boundaries of comfort. Every time you choose safety over risk, familiarity over challenge, ease over effort, you shrink your potential. You limit your possibilities. You betray the person you were meant to become. Your comfort zone is a cage. And the key to your freedom is action. Step outside, risk, struggle, fight, and you will discover a strength you never knew existed. Stay inside and you will wither in place while the world moves past you. The trap of comfort is powerful because it appeals to our desire for security. It appeals to our fear of failure, our need for certainty, our wish to avoid pain. But here is the truth. Nothing extraordinary is built in safety. Nothing remarkable is created without risk. Nothing meaningful is achieved without challenge. Comfort lulls you into passivity. It convinces you that watching others succeed is enough, that dreaming without doing is acceptable, that waiting is a strategy. It is not a strategy. It is a sentence. It is a slow, silent, suffocating sentence that keeps you from the life you are capable of living. The moment you choose comfort over courage, you trade potential for ease, ambition for mediocrity, and dreams for excuses. The comfort zone is a trap because it disguises stagnation as peace, limitation as safety, and fear as reason. One of the most dangerous aspects of the comfort trap is how gradual it is. It does not happen overnight. It begins with small compromises, small excuses, small rationalizations. You skip one opportunity because it's inconvenient. You avoid one challenge because it's uncomfortable. You settle for one small dream because it seems safer. And then another and another. Before you know it, your life is defined not by what you achieved, but by what you avoided. Your habits, your routines, your choices, your environment. They all conspire to reinforce the trap. Comfort is not just a feeling, it is a system. It organizes your life in a way that limits your growth, dulls your ambition, and keeps you safely inside the cage while the world outside explodes with possibility. Breaking free requires awareness, courage, and relentless action. Awareness means seeing the trap for what it is. It means understanding that every easy choice, every delayed risk, every skip opportunity is a brick in the wall that confines you. Courage is the willingness to step into discomfort, to embrace fear, to challenge yourself, to risk embarrassment, rejection, failure, and the unknown. Action is the only way out. You cannot think your way out. You cannot wait your way out. You cannot hope your way out. You must move. You must do. You must push past the urge to retreat into safety, and you must walk boldly into the realm of growth. Every step forward shrinks the trap. Every challenge you embrace expands your freedom, and every risk you take strengthens your resilience. The people who succeed, who dominate, who live lives others only dream of, understand the mechanics of the comfort trap. They see it in themselves, in others, and in society. They see that most people will cling to comfort, avoiding risk, avoiding struggle, avoiding pain, and as a result, their lives are average, predictable, forgettable. They refuse to be average. They refuse to be predictable. They refuse to be forgotten. They step outside the cage, even when it hurts, even when it terrifies them, even when failure is likely. They understand that every moment spent in discomfort is an investment in strength, clarity, skill, resilience, and character. They understand that freedom, greatness, and achievement do not exist in comfort, They exist beyond it. Your comfort zone is a trap, but it is a trap that can be broken. You break it by taking the first step, no matter how small. You break it by doing the thing that scares you. You break it by refusing to let fear dictate your life. You break it by taking risks, embracing challenges, and demanding more from yourself than you ever thought possible. Every uncomfortable action, every bold move, every challenge accepted is a chisel striking at the walls of your cage. Over time, those strikes create space, freedom, and opportunity. Over time, you discover that the world outside your comfort zone is not as dangerous as you feared. It is alive, it is vibrant, it is filled with growth, opportunity, and power. The reality is this: the longer you stay comfortable, the smaller your life becomes. The longer you avoid risk, the weaker you grow. The longer you wait for ease, the further you move from greatness. The people who change their lives understand that pain, discomfort, risk, and challenge are not enemies. They are allies. They are the tools of transformation. They are the signs that you are moving in the right direction. Comfort is the only enemy because it convinces you that you are safe while silently stealing your potential. To live a life without limits, without regret, without compromise, you must step out. You must fight against ease. You must embrace challenge. You must refuse to be trapped. The cage is real, but so is the key. The key is courage, action, and relentless pursuit of the life you were meant to live. Today, make the decision. Step out, risk, challenge, fail, learn, grow. Your comfort zone is a trap. It waits quietly. It whispers deceit. It lulls you into stagnation. Refuse it. Step beyond it. Feel the fear, feel the uncertainty, feel the discomfort, and move anyway. The life you want exists outside the cage. Freedom, growth, power, success, and greatness all live beyond the boundaries of your comfort. Break free, and regret is the cruelest companion of all. It sneaks in silently, unannounced, and settles in your chest, your mind, your soul, long after the opportunity has passed. It is not failure that haunts most people. It is the memory of what they didn't do, the chances they didn't take, the risks they didn't embrace, the dreams they didn't chase. Failure hurts in the moment. It stings, it burns, it makes you question yourself. But failure is temporary. You can recover, you can learn, you can rise again. Regret, on the other hand, lasts forever. It lingers. It whispers in quiet moments. It grows with every year, every day, every thought that reminds you that you could have done more, but didn't. Every time you choose inaction over courage, comfort over risk, fear over ambition, you are planting the seeds of a permanent sorrow that will shadow the rest of your life. The truth is harsh, but it is real. You will regret inaction more than failure. And that is why action, risk, and courage are not optional. They are necessary for a life without chains. The people who achieve greatness understand this. They understand that failing is part of the process, but standing still, hesitating, waiting, doing nothing, that is the real tragedy. Every opportunity you let pass, every challenge you avoid, every risk you refuse. See, to take is an opportunity for regret to grow. You tell yourself, I'll try tomorrow, I'll take the chance later, I'll step out when the timing is right. But here's the reality. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Timing is never perfect. Conditions are rarely ideal. Waiting for the right moment is just to trap your mindsets to keep you small. You will not look back one day wishing you had failed. You will look back wishing you had tried. You will wish you had risked it all instead of shrinking in fear. You will regret the silence of inaction more than the noise of failure. Regret from inaction is insidious because it builds slowly. It starts with small choices, small hesitations, small moments where you convince yourself that stepping forward is too hard, too scary, or too risky. And then another, and another. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into years. And before you know it, your life is defined not by what you accomplished, but by what you avoided. The bigger your dreams, the greater the weight of regret when you fail to chase them. Fear tells you to stay put. Fear tells you to wait. Fear tells you that inaction is safe. But inaction is the silent assassin of ambition. It is a prison you build yourself. brick by brick, excuse by excuse, hesitation by hesitation. Failure, as painful as it might feel, at least gives you a chance to learn, to adapt, to grow. Inaction gives you nothing but the weight of what if. Every time you let fear win, every time you let doubt rule, every time you shrink from the opportunity in front of you, you are choosing a future filled with questions you will never answer. What if I had tried? What if I had risked it all? What if I had spoken up, taken the leap, made the move? Those questions will haunt you when you are alone with your thoughts. They will come uninvited in the middle of the night. They will grow louder with every passing year. You can endure the sting of failure. You can recover from it. You can even celebrate it as a lesson. But regret from inaction is permanent, a scar on your soul that will never heal if you do not act. That is why the greatest risk you can take is not failing. It is doing nothing. Think about your dreams. Think about the life you want. Think about the goals that stir your soul, that make your heart race, that keep you awake at night because they are too big, too bold, too impossible to ignore. Now think about what will happen if you do nothing. Nothing changes. Your dreams fade. Your potential rots. Your life becomes smaller and smaller until you realize that your time has passed and your opportunity has vanished. That is the real tragedy. The pain of failure is temporary. The pain of inaction is eternal. The fear of risk is temporary. The weight of regret is forever. You must understand this difference because it is what separates the people who live extraordinary lives from those who live ordinary ones. Every person who has accomplished something remarkable has failed many times, but they did not stop moving. They did not freeze. They did not wait for fear to disappear. They acted. They risked, they tried, and every step, whether it led to success or failure, was better than standing still. They understood that even a failed attempt builds courage, builds momentum, builds experience. Even when they fell, they learned. Even when they stumbled, they grew. Every failure was temporary, a lesson, a stepping stone. But every moment of hesitation, every decision not to act, every opportunity missed was permanent. It added to the weight of regret. It created a story they would have to live with. They understood that failing is part of life, but doing nothing is a lifetime sentence. Regret from inaction is especially cruel because it never goes away quietly. It whispers, it questions, it haunts. You may have comfort, security, routine, even success in small areas of life, but the areas where you refuse to risk, refuse to act, refuse to step forward will always weigh on you. They will always remind you that you were capable of more, that you were stronger than you thought, that you could have created a life others only dream of. But you chose comfort over courage, hesitation over action, fear over boldness. The people who live with regret are never at peace. Their minds replay the opportunities they let slip, the challenges they avoided, the risks they refused, and it compounds into a weight that grows heavier every day. That is why you must act now. That is why you must step forward, even when it terrifies you. That is why you must risk, fail, stumble, and rise, because at least then, when you look back, you will see a life you fought for, not a life you gave away. You must also recognize that regret affects not just you, it affects those around you. The chances you didn't take, the dreams you abandoned, the actions you refuse can ripple out and impact your family, your friends, your community. Your inaction can deny others inspiration, guidance, opportunity, or leadership. The cost of standing still is not just personal. IT is collective. Your failure to act sends a message to the world that risk is dangerous, that dreams are optional, that comfort is preferable to courage. That is why choosing action over hesitation, risk over fear, courage over comfort is not just a personal decision. It is a moral one. Every step you take forward, even if it leads to failure, inspires others to act. Every risk you embrace encourages others to rise. Every dream you pursue proves that inaction does not have to define us. So today, understand this: doing nothing is far more dangerous than trying and failing. Standing still is far more damaging than stumbling forward. Hesitating, waiting, shrinking, and playing small builds change you will carry for the rest of your life. Regret is permanent. It does not fade. It does not disappear. It does not forgive. Failure is temporary. It teaches, it challenges, it strengthens, it moves you closer to your dreams. You must choose action. You must choose courage. You must embrace risk. You must step forward even when fear screams. You must take the shot. Raise your hand, speak your truth, chase your dream and risk it all, because if you do not, the life you could have lived, the person you could have become, the impact you could have made, all of it will be lost to the permanent shadow of regret. Do not let fear, hesitation, or comfort steal your life. Do not let the temporary sting of failure stop you from acting. You will regret inaction more than failure. The clock is ticking. Opportunities are here now. Challenges are in front of you now. The life you want is waiting, but it will not wait forever. Step forward, take the risk, fail if necessary, learn, grow, and rise. Do it now, because inaction will haunt you longer than any failure ever could. Now is the moment to decide who you are going to be, what you are willing to risk, and how far you are willing to go. You cannot take this life back. You cannot rewind time. Every second you spend hesitating, every opportunity you let slip, every chance you ignore is a moment you will never get again. The truth is brutal, but it is simple. Your comfort is killing your potential, your fear is killing your dreams, and your hesitation is building a lifetime of regret. You have two choices: stay where you are and let life pass you by, or step into the fire, take the leap, embrace the unknown, and risk everything for the life you were meant to live. Everything worth having requires risk. Everything worth achieving requires action. Everything worth remembering demands courage. The person you are now is not your limit. It is your starting line. The question is, will you move, or will you stay frozen in the illusion of safety, watching others rise while you remain stuck in what could have been? Listen, failure is not the enemy. Fear is not the enemy. Waiting is not the enemy. Inaction is the enemy. Regret is the enemy. And that enemy is waiting for you every time you choose comfort over courage. Every day that passes without movement, without risk, without struggle is a day closer to a lifetime of questions that will never be answered. You will not regret the moment you tried. You will not regret the times you fell and rose again. You will not regret the battles you fought with everything inside of you, but you will regret the things you never did, the chances you never took, the risks you let scare you into silence. That is why action is not optional. It is essential. That is why courage is not negotiable. It is mandatory. That is why stepping into the unknown is the only way to live a life you can be proud of. Every second you wait, every doubt you feed, every fear you entertain is a moment lost forever. Your dreams will not chase themselves. Your life will not wait for permission. Your potential will not grow while you sit idle. The clock is ticking. The opportunities are here now. The chance to rise, to fight, to risk, to push yourself beyond what you ever thought possible exists today. And if you ignore it, tomorrow will offer no guarantees. The only thing certain in life is time moving forward, and every second wasted is a second closer to a life filled with what ifs. So step forward, take the risk, fail if you must, but never let fear win. Act now, even when your knees shake, even when your heart races, even when the world tells you it's impossible. Every step you take, every challenge you face, every risk you embrace chips away at regret and builds the life you were meant to live. Remember this: it is better to fall, to stumble, to try and fail than to live a lifetime wondering what could have been. Your life, your dreams, your greatness are waiting on the other side of fear. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Take the risk now, or carry the weight of regret forever. The choice is yours. The time is now, and your future is waiting for the courage you decide to show today.